West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin has met virtually with other Senate Democrats to talk about a way forward on the president's social and climate spending bill. The Tuesday night meeting comes 2 days after Manchin announced he would not support the legislation as it stands. His spokesperson says, quote, Senator Manchin had an honest conversation with his colleagues for whom he has a great deal of respect. President Biden spoke Tuesday, maintaining his confidence the legislation will pass.
I still think there's a possibility of getting Build Back Better done.
So did Senator Manchin break his commitment to you?
Senator Manchin and I are going to get something done. Thank you.
I want to bring in CBS News congressional correspondent Nikole Killion now. Hi, Nikole. Great to see you. So Senator Manchin's announcement that he won't support the bill is, of course, a blow to Democrats, as we've been discussing. So why is the president still confident that he can work something out?
Well, he has no choice. I mean, this is his signature agenda on the line. This is what he campaigned for on the line. So I don't know that he's going to let one person tank that. So he has no choice but to try to work with Senator Manchin to try to see if he can get him to reverse course or get to yes or get to some more modified compromise that all Democrats can live with. This is something, especially looking ahead to the midterms, the Democrats had hoped to campaign on, and you can't campaign on nothing. So they need something to show for all of this work, all of these negotiations that they have been having over nearly 10 months.
So what more do we know about that Tuesday night meeting with Manchin and other Democrats? I mean, it seemed like a civil meeting, but do we have any more insight?
So this was part of a regular caucus meeting that Senate Democrats typically have. A lot of times it's here at the Capitol in person. They have a lunch once a week. So instead they did this virtually since the Senate is on recess. But they did use it as an opportunity to talk about the path forward, not only on Build Back Better, but also with respect to voting rights. And Leader Schumer made clear that they are not giving up on the Build Back Better package, period, to quote him from that meeting. He argued to members that the provisions in this package are needed, and so they simply just can't give up and walk away from this. With respect to voting rights, he also made clear that, the state of our democracy is at stake, and he did say that if Republicans block voting rights legislation again, then he reserves the right to consider potential rules changes. And we do know that senators have been discussing that. They were discussing that in the run-up to the recess, and the leader has made clear that he does intend to put that on the agenda as one of the first items when they return in January.
Now, Manchin's decision could, of course, cost the people in his own state. Progressives say the expansion of the child tax credit program would give up to $300 a month per child to families. The West Virginia Center on Budget and Policy says about 1 in 5 children in that state lives in poverty, and 93% are eligible for these payments. So how is Manchin explaining this particular piece of the puzzle back home?
Well, in making his argument as to why he was a no, he said that this was something that he couldn't sell to his constituents. And if he ever reached a point that he couldn't sell this back home, that, in essence, he would be a no. And that's kind of part of the factor in his decision, on top of his argument that he believes this package could negatively impact the economy with respect to debt and the issue of inflation, given that we are looking at record inflation at this time, and he believes a package like this may only add to it and fuel it even further. What's interesting is that there are also people within his state, namely coal miners, a coal miners union, which put out a statement at the beginning of the week, also arguing that Senator Manchin should rethink his position, because in the Build Back Better package, there are some provisions that could help coal miners with respect to the issue of black lung, also with respect to the issue of out-of-work miners and job opportunities for them. So from that standpoint, they believe that the senator should reconsider. And so, look, Senator Manchin has indicated while he may be opposed to this package, he certainly hasn't fully walked away from the negotiations. I think that's something the Democrats have been pointing out throughout their discussions, is that he has been at the table. And so their hope is that he continues to stay at the table again. So perhaps they can try to convince him to change course.
And, Nikole, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell says Republicans would love to have Manchin in their party. He says, quote, "I think he'd be more comfortable." First off, where is this coming from? Has Manchin indicated he might consider switching parties? Because it seems to me he's popular among his constituents because he's a Democrat who is a little bit of a fly in the ointment for the Democrats. I don't know if his popularity would be maintained if he became a moderate Republican.
Well, I think from Senator Manchin's standpoint, I mean, look, he's old school in terms of being a moderate Democrat, right? He came up in that age where you did have Republicans and Democrats working across the aisle. That has always been his experience, both within his state and, here at the Capitol. That has always been his MO. And so from that standpoint, he hasn't indicated that he would want to switch parties. But I mean, to a certain point, this is Republicans kind of doing a happy dance, right? They don't want the Build Back Better package to pass. So they're kind of like, ha ha, we told you so. This guy should be in our party because, he's basically kind of advancing their agenda in terms of putting the brakes on this package, which is something they have been arguing for months. So look, Leader McConnell did acknowledge to reporters about a week or so ago that he actually did try to sway Senator Manchin and encourage him to join the party, but he said he doesn't believe that that is likely to happen at this time.
All right. Well, Nikole Killion on Capitol Hill, thank you so much.
You bet.